Okay, so today we'd like to present our growth strategy for Dropbox, and we're going to pursue aggressive growth through focusing on a photo and video storage platform, especially within the app sector and through the use of phones. So the current situation is that it's really difficult to target enterprises. We're in a very fiercely competitive and fragmented market, and there's a lot of user confusion around our product offerings, even though we are confident in that we have a easy-to-use app. Our recommendation is to focus on photo and video, especially through the use of our app, and just to focus on memories rather than files, so that people will end up using more storage space and will have a higher conversion rate into the paying customer rather than the free customers. So our strategy to do this is to update our app with features that will better utilize photos and encourage people to store their photos and memories on our app. We'll partner with Samsung to get ourselves as one of the base apps within the software suite, and we're going to create promotional videos and tutorials and maybe focus a little bit more on the useful things that Dropbox can do that people might not know. And our overall outcome is that we're hoping to increase conversion rate, increase profitability, and increase the usability of our system. So it's difficult to target enterprises because there's a lot of bureaucracy surrounding them, and a lot of them have in-house Dropbox-like file storage and hardware on site because of security issues. So we decided to target the consumers in order to aggressively grow. Furthermore, the highly fragmented and competitive market, we can see that we have two of our main competitors, Mozy and Carbonite. Both of them top us on the consumer list, even though we consider ourselves a consumer product, and the product offerings are rather limited compared to ours, which means that there's not enough information out there about what Dropbox can do, and we're hoping to tackle that through the use of promotional videos, getting ourselves in the app, and maybe upgrading our features and usability a bit. Lastly, a lot of people don't know how to install it, and Craigslist, like all 5 people, failed to install. So we're hoping with those videos we can tackle that issue and really get to the core problem. So our long-term solution in order to do this is to focus on developing new features for the phone and app, pursue a partnership with Samsung to get our kind of name out there, get people backing up their photos and storage on our app, and then focus on the educational aspect and get people more familiar with our product offerings.
Thanks, Ryan. So quite simply, we give people 2 gigabytes of data, and they're using 25% of that. So not only is that excess capacity stuff that we're paying for, but it's also value that our consumers aren't getting out of using our product. So in order to make use of that capacity, we're suggesting expanding into the photo and video sharing market. And just some rough numbers that we ran. If people take on average 3 pictures a day, 2.5 megabytes per pixel per picture, they're going to fill up that entire 2 gigabytes of free storage we're giving them within a year. And so from then on after that, photos are essentially different from files in that they're memories, and you're really going to be really hesitant to delete them. So that's why we anticipate as soon as they fill that 2 gigabytes, they're going to be paying they're going to be expanding from freemium to premium, paying for that additional revenue year over year. And even if one of our competitors does come out with an alternative product, it's going to be extremely difficult for them to switch over from Dropbox to an alternative file share hosting website. So the 4 features that we're going to highlight would be Dropbox photo tagging. So whenever you take a picture on your Samsung phone, you can tag location, date, and people in your photos. Second, Smart Drop is going to be an AI that allows Dropbox to automatically group photos based on where you took them, the time period, and who you were with. Third, sharing social media, especially Facebook, is going to be easy as click of a button. And finally, auto backup on gallery, like we provide for all of the Dropbox files, we're going to provide for your photos and videos as well. So this strategic partnership, in 2 months' time, Samsung will be releasing the Samsung Galaxy 5, and we hope to allow Dropbox to be one of the base apps on that software suite package, as Ryan mentioned. So by pursuing this partnership, Samsung gets to differentiate themselves from their other competitors like Apple and HTC by not only providing this software that will back up everyone's photos, but allows them to seamlessly sync along all your devices, Samsung or otherwise. So this is an example of the educational video we would be producing as part of our strategy that would teach our users about all the features that we have that they don't already know about. So as you can see, very simple user interface. Up here we're going to have the 3 dots, which are the 4 main actions you can take with your files. And we're going to expand this interface to photos as well. So you're going to have one photo here, or perhaps several albums, and you'll be able to download, upload, and sync across devices seamlessly. So now, with the financial projections, with our current growth rate of 10% that we got from the case, and a 2.5% conversion rate from converting freemium to premium-based users, we ran some numbers based on our growth strategy and came up with a 20% growth rate, which is actually market rate. We were growing below market before, and a 5% conversion rate based on the fact that people are going to run out of that excess capacity quicker, and they're going to be hesitant to delete those photos, so they'll be more likely to pay for our premium product. And so if we take our baseline of 10 and 2.5%, and then add our new numbers of 20% and 5%, we get a 357% gross margin increase on top of our current status quo using our strategy.
So we've created a 2-year short-term and subsequently a long-term plan in order to implement this strategy. We're going to begin by first developing the photo sharing app. Although this seems like a short timeline, we know that our founder has been able to reverse program hardware and software, so clearly this is a doable task. Second, we will be contacting Samsung, reaching out to them, gauging a relationship, and building this partnership. Third, we'll start production of our tutorial videos. So as Jake mentioned, a lot of the users don't know about how to use the features that Dropbox already provides. So these tutorial videos in the form of YouTube videos and life hacks will provide the user with an easy way to learn how to use Dropbox. As Samsung releases the Galaxy 5, as Jake mentioned, we'll have Dropbox pre-installed as part of their software package. So as Samsung releases their phones, Dropbox also gets released. After that, we'll start releasing the tutorial videos that we've produced onto YouTube, Dig, which was the technology site, and our own Dropbox website. That way, those users who have the phone will be able to access our tutorial videos. After this, we'll start performing data analytics. So the case mentioned that we use beta testing. That was specifically for the tech consumers. But we also have the usability testing, which found that those who were on Craigslist didn't know how to use the app. So this usability testing after the implementation will help us to gauge where we need to modify things. To that end, based on those analytics, we'll be able to modify our tutorial videos and any features on the app that need changing. In terms of the existing strategies, such as the referral strategy that was so successful for Dropbox, those strategies will continue to be implemented. In the long term, we're looking towards going to the small business market with something like Dropbox Pro. We'll start with beta testing, like we did for the tech sector, so that we know exactly what the small businesses want and need. After that, as the consumer use grows, we'll continue to innovate and start to create some sort of platform specifically for the small businesses. There are 3 major risks that we face in terms of this implementation. The first is that Google enters the field. Although Google has tried with the cloud system before, they've seen lots of failures. We also have a first mover advantage over Google. In terms of Samsung, if we don't build this relationship and partnership, we can look to other producers such as Apple or HTC, emphasizing the differentiated advantage that they'll get by having Dropbox installed on their software suite. Finally, if we don't meet the conversion rate of 5%, we can look towards building the premium market by moving the features from the freemium market specifically to the premium, or developing new special features for the premium paid segment. In sum, we hope that our strategy will be able to allow us to grow to an outcome of differentiating Dropbox and, in the end, increasing profitability. Thank you.
Nine minutes, 20 seconds.
Cool.
Good job, guys.
But you guys mind leaving it just on the numbers slide? It's just easier to read on there. Then we can just ask questions and have those referenced.
Or
Your appendix, sorry. Which one you guys want to kick it off, or?
Yeah, so a lot of this revolves around this partnership with Samsung. Is there precedent for sort of third parties to become baseline apps within these providers? Like, you mean, obviously everyone would want to be a baseline app that you're preloaded on the phone, but is that a thing?
Within Apple's market, no. So we were evaluating companies to approach initially. Apple obviously has their own ecosystem that they like to develop all their apps themselves. Thought there was a great risk they would just take our idea and make their own version of it. Which is why we approached Samsung specifically. We believe that we have not only the infrastructure, but the business model that they don't currently have on their phones, and it'd be in addition, yes, they could copy it in the long run, but they could implement, they could add our app immediately to release it into on the Samsung Galaxy 5 in 2 months, and that's something they wouldn't be able to offer otherwise.
What do you think the cost would be to Dropbox to have Samsung have the app preloaded on the phone? Do you think you'd have to pay Samsung anything?
We believe that our within the market, it's very competitive. It would be part of the negotiation process, obviously. We believe we have a strong offering for Samsung, and obviously they have one as well, because they're going to be choosing us over the 20 other competitors that we have. So in terms of marketing, we're willing to spend, you can see our projections for the future. So we're willing to spend up to 25% of the gross profit increase in, I guess, royalties to Samsung as a result of that. But obviously we'd have to negotiate that with Samsung.
Speaking of marketing, I'm interested in how you want to capture this photo sharing community. Right now, it's not something that Dropbox is currently targeting. So how are you going to create awareness in people that want to use it solely for photos and videos and increase the conversion rate there?
I don't think it'll just be for photos and, sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think it'll just be for photos and videos. Simply, with these new features, the current Dropbox users can still continue with their documents and everything else that is currently stored. So with the videos, the tutorials, the life hacks, all the features that Dropbox has, but the users currently, they can't find it themselves or they don't know how to use it. When they see just how much easier it is to store photos there rather than on my desktop where I can't find anything ever because I have so many photos there, or I tried like external hard drives once and I don't know where it is and it just feels lost. We're just going to reach out to all the memories that they're not going to be able to preserve otherwise. And also with the videos, we had an idea to have sort of moment of truth things where if you lost your phone or if your hard drive crashed, you kind of lose everything, but that's all you have. But with Dropbox, you don't have that fear.
Also with the app, we're going to have it set up so that your camera roll can back up directly to Dropbox. And with the partnership with Samsung or alternative partnerships, once you get a phone and it starts automatically backing up to Dropbox, we're hoping to create awareness to that as well.
It's more of it's more of a focus on converting the existing customers rather than targeting a new customer base. So we're hoping that through those videos that Helen talked about, that we'll just be able to convert those who already have Dropbox to be able to pay for the new features that we'll have.
Do you think that approaching Samsung now is something that's realistic? Because from my perspective, I would think that there's a lot of, so frankly, like they don't need us, right? They already have a pretty big consumer base at the moment. And so I think there'd be kind of an inherent risk if they partnered with us. So let's say we have difficulties with this app and it's not being sold on a phone. So you think this is something we should pursue now or perhaps later down the road when we're kind of a more established player?
So we already have the mobile app that's been released, and we think putting this on the Samsung Galaxy 5 with that 2-month release, yes, there's inherent risk involved, but we believe that being the first one to market and the first one to first file sharing app on Samsung, the benefits outweigh the costs in the long run.
Okay.
Just on the note for Samsung, so if you're backing up all their photos, wouldn't that mean that people wouldn't need as much space on the phone, so they're going to be buying cheaper phones? Like I just bought the 32 gigabyte Google Pixel instead of the 128 because I can do exactly that, right? How would that work with Samsung?
I think that's a valid concern, of course, but phones store a lot more than just photos, and for myself, like I don't have data everywhere I go, but I have a lot of pictures where if I'm talking about something, I want to show someone something immediately that I took maybe last year. I think that people generally have a preference to keep things with them so it's easily accessible, and they'll kind of go as high as they can on that threshold until they have to, start deleting off of their phone. Like it's really hard if you go through your phone and you try to delete pictures or videos, and I don't think that it'll dramatically decrease the storage demands.
I see.
Do we have time for one last question?
Yeah, 30 seconds.
Quickly. Okay, so it sounds like you want to target the existing consumers with the photo sharing right now because entering the small business market is too difficult. what makes you think that down the road in your long-term plan, it'll be easier to enter the small business market, or what will be different then?
So I think with this current strategy, we're trying to establish Dropbox as something that you pay for, not something that you get for free and never really end up paying for it. And entering the small business market is something that they would have to pay for. So this kind of sets precedent. Right now, if we approached a business and we said, oh, 2% of people who use our product pay for it, that's not really like a strong backing for them to really pay for it. I think that this kind of makes us more legitimate and will give us that legitimacy to enter that market.
Great.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thanks so much, guys.
Yeah,
Great
great
job. And I just posted in the group, but we'll see you back here at 8.
What if I don't think I can make that?
Yeah.
Can none of you make it?
Wait.
Is this a debrief for our team or for?
It's like for everyone to announce the winners and like give some feedback. Sort of thing.
Come one.
I can
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
As long as one of you is here, that's ideal.